Rabotai, welcome back. We are continuing today with a new series, what we want to call Belineder, the Gemara journey with Rashi only. I don't know how many of you had the zuchut, the merit to be able to learn Rashi inside. Now when I say learn Rashi inside, not just, for one piece and you continue. So try to learn every single Rashi in the Gemara. We don't understand what HaKadosh Baruch Hu did for us by sending Rashi to us, by explaining the Gemara and other facets of Torah. Without Rashi, you can't move in the Gemara. It's nuts. I love Rashi, Rabotai. It's something that, I don't know. I don't have to explain it. I kiss Rashi, I kiss the page. It's just something that I'm very thankful that we had such a giant amongst us who's able to go ahead and explain the Gemara the way he does, to break it down, to simplify it. Rabotai, let's start Masechet Berachot of Bet Amud Aleph. This is called the Gemara journey with Rashi only. It's a real Gemara journey, and everything starts with Rashi. You know Rashi, you'll be able to do Tosfot. You know Rashi Tosfot, you'll be able to do Rishonim. You know Rashi Tosfot Rishonim, you'll be able to do Achronim. Everything literally begins with Rashi. That's why it's very important to learn Rashi. I try to learn, when I learn, I try to go do everything in order. Because a lot of times you'll see later on that it refers back to this Gemara, that Gemara, that Gemara. And it's very important you learn in order. Why? Because when you see something later on and it quotes a Gemara, which you already learned, it just makes it that easier. At one time, I saw two Talmidei Chachamim in a kollel. They were back and forth. They're trying to understand what was Rashi and the Gemara trying to say. They were not chapping. Baruch Hashem, I was holding at that sugya at that time. So I said, what's the problem? I don't know, why can't you understand this? If you refer back to the previous page, was a certain dav, go back, you'll see clearly this is exactly what he means. And so on and so forth. So how did you know? Because I said I was doing the Gemara from the beginning. So I already went over that sugya, I already went over that teaching. So I knew that it was over here. When Rashi was referring here, I knew what he meant over there. In any event, Rabotai, it's very, very important to always begin everything in order. You're not going to tell the kid to start running until he starts walking. And you're not going to tell the kid to start walking until he starts standing up. Same thing over here. It's not good to jump. You could do it, but I'm advising, Rabotai, my humble opinion, to try to go ahead and learn everything in order, seder. Now, if anybody wants to look inside and learn inside, to see the Rashis, because you will see it's beautiful. Torah is beautiful. You guys are going to start appreciating what Torah is, Rabotai. This is something. So I use this kind of book, this kind of Gemara. Mahadur Friedman. They have another one, the Tuvi edition, the blue one. Now I'm not going to tell you that one is bad. It's just the print out over here is very, it's a little bit different. It's very easy on the eyes. The page is off white. If you can see peach, it doesn't hurt my eyes so much. In any event, Rabotai, the Tuvi also has nukudot. This one also has nukudot. That's why I actually showed it to you, because I want you to get the one with nukudot. Now, a lot of rabbis are not going to be happy with that idea. That's fine with me. Rabotai, we are not Talmidei Chachamim from age 2, right, where we were learning Mishnah, Chumash, Gemara. We started, fortunate, unfortunate, at a very old age. So if HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the opportunity, the wherewithal, the instruments to be able to learn, why not use it? On the contrary, we have a chazan that comes to us from Israel. His name is, I believe, Rabbi Nathanael Elazarov. He comes to us from Israel. Very, very nice chazan. The way he sings is not even normal. It's like very, very beautiful. Yerushalayim and everything. Very big Talmud Chacham. And he told me he used to learn with Rav Chaim Kanevsky's grandson. They used to be charutot. And he asked him, what does his father think about learning? Should you make it hard? He said, whatever is able to allow you to learn better, to move faster, to be able to understand the material, that's what you have to do. Because you have to understand, I'll put it to you like this. What motivated me to go ahead and learn with Nikudot. Again, you have to remember, I'm talking about many years back. I'm talking about what? I don't know. At least, at least 18 years back, at least 15 years back. What motivated me to learn? I was in the Gemara, I was doing Masechet, I believe I was doing Masechet Berachot, I was doing the Tosar or something, and I saw over there like this. This is what I saw over there. That's all I saw. Now you have to remember, when I don't know how to learn, you don't know how to read, you don't know how to even put into a sentence, so you know what this is. So what could this word be? Right? So what could this word be? Is this word Shem, which means name? Is this word, so that it would be like this, right? Shem, name. Is it Sam, to place? Is it Sham, there? So it was a little bit hard for me to try to figure out. So if I want to sit there now and try to, again, I'm talking about 15 years ago, I wasn't able to put even these two words together, what it really meant, without Nikodot. So I went ahead and I got the Gemara with Nikodot. Rabotai, I try to make learning enjoyable. It has to be easy on the eyes, it has to be readable. There's a very, very big difference, Rabotai, the old print versus the new print. There's a reason why Kadosh Baruch Hu makes Torah today easily accessible, so for people to be able to learn, not to have an excuse they can't do it, they cannot do it. If you know how to daven, you'll know how to learn. And I'm talking right now about Gemara and Rashi. Okay, you might have a small stumbling block if that you don't know the letter Rashi's. Not a big deal. Open up a sitter or go to a store, get Rashi letters, or Google it, get the Rashi letters and that is script and the print. See them, Rabotai, compare, contrast, learn them. I'm telling you, you will be surprised in a few months how you will be able to see Rashi letters. You know, there's a sefer that's called, where is the sefer? Okay. I don't remember the book. It's not my words. I forgot the name of the sefer. It was a very popular sefer. He says over there that if you take a child, you put him in a closed room, you lock him up, right? You give him food, everything, you take care of him, but don't speak to him any language. Don't speak to him. In the end, the child's going to come out to speak Lashon HaKodesh. That's the way Hashem created us. You'll speak Lashon HaKodesh automatically. So we have it, Rabotai. It's a question of, do we want to do it? Do we want to learn it? Rabotai, today we're going to only begin the sugya. We're not going to go through the whole thing. I don't have a lot of time right now. But we're only going to begin the sugya. We'll see how much we can get with Mishnah and Rashi. If you want to even have a better understanding, again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing over here. If you listen, we started also the treasures of Mishnah, which is also on the Mishnayot only. Over there, also we elaborate very much. In any event, Rabotai, whichever way you go, you're going to be fine. Masechet Berachot of Bet, Amud Aleph, really quick. Whenever you begin any Gemara, the Gemara over here begins in Talmud Bavli only. It begins with Bet, Amud Aleph. Whenever you see a dot, that means side one. Amud means side. Daf literally means one page, okay? Right, Rabbi said Daf means literally one page. Now, if you pay close attention, over here I have Bet, 2 periods. If you see that, that means it's side 2 Amud Bet. 2 periods tell you which Amud it is. Same thing over here. Gimel, you're going to turn the page, you're going to get Gimel Amud Aleph, Gimel Amud Bet. Same thing, Rabotai. Same thing right over here. Gimel Amud Bet. Now, if you ever want to catch a person, if he knows what he's talking about, you tell him, I saw in the Gemara in Masechet Berachot in Daf Tet Amud Gimel that this is what it says, and he says, yeah, I hear you. You know he doesn't know what he's talking about because there's no Amud Gimel. There's only 2 sides, side 1 and side 2. There's no side 3. In any event, Rabotai, let's get to work. Let's get straight into work. The Gemara begins, which is actually the Mishnah. Me'matai korin es Shema be'aravin. From when does one recite Shema in the evening? The Gemara answers, Misha'ah she'kohanim nichnesin l'chol b'trumatan. From the time the Kohanim enter to eat the truma. If you pay close attention, right now we have no names. Whenever you have no names, it's called Tana Kama, the first Tana. Tana literally means teacher. Kama literally means first. Tana Kama. So the Tana Kama over here is telling us, guys, Rabotai, remember, if you guys can Get it down, write it down. Take a notebook, take a pen, paper. Rabbi said, trust me when I tell you this. If Rabbi Wolkin was able to do it with me, believe me, it can help almost anyone, and I'll tell you why. Rabbi Wolkin told me a very, very important concept when it comes to learning Torah. If you ever, I don't want to compare the two, but just for you to understand. He said, whenever you go, right, Lolan, people should never know, but whenever you go to a doctor and they write a prescription, correct? You take it, you're like, what do you write? I don't know. What's this? What's that? This is what you want. That's it. That's here. There you go. There. That's it. That's the medication. Well, what's this? You don't know what it is. So you go to the pharmacist. You give it. He goes, 500 milligrams, this, that. Where in the world does it say 500 milligrams in the way the doctor wrote it? So I told this Rabbi Wolkin, so how's that? So the rabbi was telling me, he's like, you can't understand the curve, but they know. How do they know it? Practice. Over and over and over and over. You write, you say, you listen, you write, you say, you review, you write, you say, you re-listen. Rabotai, you don't understand, that's the only way to grow. Chazarot, review. So I'm telling you over here that if I say certain Hebrew terminologies and you're getting lost in it, it's normal. Write it down, put Tana, teacher, comma, first, Tana, comma. Make a vocabulary for yourself. Rabotai, speak in a few months. Tell me where you're holding another Bezrat Hashem. If you do see me, I'll tell you that people see me, they say, thank you, Rabbi, whatever it is. If you seem like that, then you can tell me, Rabbi, if it really helped or not. That's it, finish. Okay. So, the Tanakama, the Mishnah begins in the Tanakama says, Me'motai korin eshema be'aravin. From when does one recite the Shema in the evening? The Tanakama answers, Misha'asha kohanim ne'echnasim l'chol bitrumatan. From the time the kohanim entered to eat the truma. So he gave a question and he gave an answer on the spot. Then it continues to say, Ad sov ha'ashmor harishon divrei Rabbi Eliezer. Until the end of the first watch, that is the words of Rabbi Eliezer. Now I want you to pay close attention in the Mishnah. When it says, Me'matai korin eshema be'aravin, mish'asha kohanim nechzil l'chol bitrumatan. If you see in the Gemara, there's a period. That means that was the Tana speaking. Now until when are we going to have a three-way machloket? Between Rabbi Eliezer, Chachamim, and Rabbi Gamliel, up to when can one recite? Pay attention about time. Whenever you're learning Mishnah, whenever you're learning Gemara, know who is speaking, what's going on. Understand, Rabotai, that this is the only way to learn Gemara. So let's get back into the Mishnah, and I'm going to go straight into Rashi. I just did that just to elaborate. Rabotai, once I do it one time, or two times, whatever it is, I do it a second time again, just to be able to get that flow, to know the context, what we're speaking in. Okay, so when I go back, it's okay, Rabotai, it's alright, it's Chazara. Every single word, 613 mitzvot. Memotai korin neshama be'aravin, from when does one recite Kriya Shema in the evening? Misha'asha kohanim nichnesim l'chol b'turumatan. From the time the kohanim enters to eat the truma. Comes Rashi, Dibur HaMatchil. Whenever you see the word Dibur HaMatchil, it's literally like this. Okay. Rabotai, this is very important because when you start learning Rishonim Achronim, they say Dibur HaMatchil. That means the beginning of the words. And I'll explain to you how it works. Rabotai, we have like this. Dibur HaMatchil. Usually how you will see it like this. Dalet and Hey. Whenever you see like that, Dalet and Hey right here, it's called Dibur HaMatchil. It's called the beginning of the words. What does this mean? Very simple. We have to remember that whoever came first is always in the inside. Will you ever see Rashi on the outside? Yes, you will. But in general speaking, Rashi is always in the inside. Tosfot is on the outside. Tosfot was Rashi's grandchildren. Now, whenever I say Dibur HaMatchil, if I will tell you in general, Rabotai, just get the hang of it, you'll see it. It's going to just pick up on it. You see over here it says, Me'emotai korin shema be'aravin. Mishasha kohanim v'chulu. You have to understand, whenever you're going to be, you want to open up any book, you want to open up Tosfot, you want to open up Rishonim Achronim, they'll tell you, look into Masechet Berachot, Daf Bet, Amud Aleph, Dibur HaMatchil, Me'emotai. That's all. That means they're going to want you to come over here and they're going to want you to know this Rashi before you can understand whatever else they're saying. Or if they're explaining that, they're going to tell you exactly where they found it. So Rabotai, this is how it works, okay? So Dibra Matchil literally means the beginning of the word. So let's get back into the Rashi. So Rashi says in the beginning, Dibra Matchil Me'emotai. Again, that's another word you should write down, which is Dibra Matchil, the beginning of the words. Me'emotai, Kol Nishma Ba'arevin. From when does one recite the Kriya Shema in the evening? From the time when the Kohanim enter to eat their Truma. In the Mishnayot series, we explain what Truma is. Truma is the 1%. I just don't want to go over it right now. I don't have the time. But Truma is the 1% that was given to the Kohen from Prorus, which is Tevel. Oh, yeah. Should I do it? All right, let's do it. I don't know who's watching the other one, who's not watching the other one. Here. Let's do this, Rabotai. Okay. Let's do this. All right, if I just have to finish up, I'll finish up and that's it. Because I have a class, I give classes, and I'm trying to also, I've been trying to push in this class, the Mishnah class. You know, Baruch Hashem, we do halachot, or Rav Chaim, and Ezer, halacha for women. Trying to get Hashem's, Torah out there, Rabotai. So, in Sephardic also, that's what's nice about it. Okay. All right, Rabotai, let's do this. Okay, it's 5:21 now. Okay. We have, okay, I hope you guys see. We have what's called Tevel. Tevel literally means produce where Ma'asarot, where the 10% or the donations was not given, not to the Kohen, not to the Levi, and so on and so forth. So what happens over here, Tevel is produce where the donations were not given. So usually when you have produce, you always have 100% of whatever you're going to have. Truma is something which is very holy. Truma is produce. Once he takes 1% from the 100% and he's going to give it to the Kohen, that's called Truma. That first percent that he gives is called Truma. Only a Kohen is allowed to eat it. Now, Rabotai, again, I'm not going to get into the discussion if he has an Eved Kanani, if he has a slave that was a Goy but he became a Jew. Rabotai, I'm just trying to stick with this. There's a lot of information. Truma is given to a Kohen, which is 1%. Now, the farmer has only 99% left. Then he has to give Maaser Rishon, which is 10%. He has to give the first 10%, he has to give to the Levi. It's called Maaser Rishon. Then you have Trumat Maaser. Trumat Maaser is given from the Levi to the Kohen. That's what it's called. Excuse me, that's what it's called. Trumat Maaser. The Truma goes back to the Kohen. And Maaser, 10%, the Levi have to give from his 10%, which is really, he's giving him altogether 1%. Now, after the farmer gave the Levi Maaser Rishon, he's down to 89%. So now you have also what's called Maaser Sheni, where also the farmer has to give 10%, but this 10% belongs to him. What do I mean? In the 7-year cycle of Shemitah, the first, second, fourth, and fifth year, the owner himself has to take the produce up to Yerushalayim, and he has to eat the produce over there. He can't carry the produce there, no problem. He's going to redeem it onto money. He's going to desanctify it onto money. The money he'll take to Yerushalayim, buy produce there and eat it there. But this original produce that he designated, he can eat it anywhere. Now you have, after the 10% was given, that's to himself actually, he's left with 79%. This is only on the first, second, fourth, and fifth year. But then also you have Maaser Oni. Maaser Oni is given 10%, which is given to the poor. But it's given on the third and sixth year in the 7-year cycle. That means to say, Rabotai, in any given year, the farmer is left with 79%. Doesn't remind you of 31%, 33% tax that they take right here, right? This is from the Torah, Rabotai. So on the first, from the 7-year cycle, if it's the first year, he takes for himself. Second year, for himself. Third year, he's going to give to a poor person 10%. Right? Rabotai, so that's the way it works. So why am I telling you at any given year? Because if he's not giving it to himself, he has to give it to the poor person. Again, he's down to 79%. Okay. I just wanted to show you about Truma. So that's what he says. Memotai Korin, I'm back in Rashi, Dimor Matchil Memotai. Memotai Korin es Shema be'aravin. From when does one recite the Kriya Shema in the evening? Misha'ah shekonim nechnatzi l'chol b'trumotan. From the time the Kohanim enter to eat their truma. So now Rashi goes on to explain what is the case speaking about. Listen how beautiful Rashi is. Kohanim shenitmeu. You had Kohanim that they became tamei. Either they touched a dead sheretz, a dead creeping crawler, a rat, a lizard. There are 8 of them, Rabotai. It's not necessarily only a rat. There's 8 different sheratzim, which are called creeping crawlers. Things that crawl on the floor. So he says, Kohanim shenitmeu. If you had a Kohen that became tamei, let's say through touching a dead rat, or if he became a zav. A zav is a person who saw abnormal emission. He was sick, lol, in Chashusham. It's not that same emission that a guy sees when he sleeps with his wife. The difference between a zav and a keri is a very, very big difference. A keri, when he's with his wife, that type of sperm or semen can make children. If he chas v'sham lolin rabotai thought about a bad woman, thought about a immodest woman, that keri can come out. Or if he chas v'shalom, he aroused himself and then he did avera, he did zer levatala chas v'shalom. That's called keri. The difference between keri and zav is by keri he goes to the mikvah, and then he's tahor. He waits until the sun sets, and then he's tahor. But by zav it's completely different. For zav, when he sees him 1 or 2 times, meaning the second time, he becomes a zav. Now he has to wait 7 days before he could go to the mikvah. He goes to the mikvah during the day. He waits for the sun to set, and once the sun sets and the 3 stars come out, only now he's able to eat truma. But on the following day, on the 8th day in the morning, he has to bring a korban to completely atone for his tumah process, to completely purify him. Rabotai, I'm just trying to show that over here we're dealing right now with a Kohen that became tamei. He became tamei either through touching a dead rat, or he became tamei through becoming a zav. Something is not that he was with his wife. Abnormal emission, meaning his body, he was sick. It was something internal. Okay, so I'll tell you the difference between zav, the sperm of a zav, and the sperm of a keri. The sperm of a keri can make children. The sperm of a zav cannot make children, okay? Put it to you like that. So he says, Kohanim shenitmeu, if you had a Kohen that became tamei, let's say he touched a dead rat, v'tavlu, and they went and they dipped in the mikvah on the 7th day. The Kohanim dipped before sunset. V'eiriv shimshat, and now the sun said, v'giya itam, and now the time came, meaning the 3 stars came out, lechol b'truma, to eat truma. So let's just do the Rashi without all the explanations. Kohanim shenitmeu, if you had Kohanim that they became tamei, v'tavlu, and they dipped, v'eiriv shimshan, and then the sun set, v'giya itam lechol b'truma, and their time came to eat truma, which is when the 3 stars come out. So that's what Rashi is telling you. Whenever we see the Tanakam telling us over here, me'matai korin eshema be'aravin, me'shasha korin nechzil lechol b'trumatan, we have to understand, why did the Kohanim go to the mikvah? What, just like that, they had nothing to do? No, Rashi is telling you because they became tamei, that's why they went to the mikvah. They're still not allowed to eat the truma until the sun sets. Once the sun sets, you have to still wait until the time for until the time when the 3 stars come out comes, because that's exactly when they're allowed to eat truma. Now, when you go back into the Mishnah, when the Tanakama tells you, me'matai korin eshema be'aravin, from when does one recite the Kriya Shema in the evening? Misha'asha kohanim nechnatzi lechol b'terumatan. From the time the Kohanim enter to eat their truma. What time do the Kohanim enter to eat their truma? That's exactly when the 3 stars come out, which is Tzet Kochavim. The Tanakam is telling you from when do you recite the Kriya Shema in the evening? From when the 3 stars come out. Rabotai, I do apologize for cutting it short, but this is fine because the next piece is actually together. So it's good that we're stopping now. B'linad B'ezrat Hashem, this will be part 1 for Masechet Berachot Daf Bet Amud Aleph. Have a blessed day, guys.